Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Yeji, like yay G. And my channel is all about saving money while traveling because let's be real, traveling can get really expensive. So if you don't have to spend any money, why would you, right? And if that sounds interesting to you, let's be internet besties and consider subscribing below, and let's get into today's video. Today I wanted to compare two cards, the Chase Sapphire Reserve and the Citi Strata Elite. Not long ago, I made first impression videos about these cards, so if you're interested, I'll link them up above, both for Chase and Citi, so you guys can go check it out. But today I just wanted to compare these two side by side so that you can decide which card is a better fit for you. Now, starting off with the Chase Sapphire Reserve, this card has an annual fee of $795, and yes, that is an expensive card. Currently, their welcome bonus is 125,000 points if you spend 6,000 in the next 3 months. And according to Chase, you get over $2,700 in value with this welcome bonus. I normally don't like talking about the welcome bonus because by the time you watch this video, the welcome bonus would have changed. But I wanted to touch on this real fast because when the card first came out, they offered 100,000 bonus points, and this card hasn't been out that long. It's been like a couple months, I want to say. But within that time frame, they dropped the 100,000 points, and now they're giving you 125,000. And granted, the spend is a little higher at 6,000, but that's pretty interesting to see from Chase because they never do this. Chase normally, especially the Sapphire Reserve, they lower the welcome bonus right away, and majority of the times the welcome bonus is lower than the Sapphire Preferred because apparently with the Reserve they've been losing money over the years, and they actually prefer people opening up the Sapphire Preferred with a higher bonus than keeping the Reserve. But I guess it kind of changed with the refresh recently, because now it kind of seems like Chase is pushing this card really hard. And it's also interesting because are people not applying enough for Chase to be raising the welcome bonus? You know, that's an interesting concept because I know a lot of people in the blog world were disappointed, and myself included, I'll be honest. I was disappointed with the Chase Sapphire Reserve when it first came out with the refresh. So I'm like, maybe Chase is trying to attract more customers by offering a higher bonus maybe. But with the higher annual fee comes higher multipliers, and we'll get into that. So Chase gives you 8x on all purchases through Chase Travel, including the edit, 4x on flights booked directly with the airline, 4x on hotels booked directly as well, and 3x on dining worldwide, and then it gives you 1x in all other purchases. Now, it also gives you $300 in annual travel credit, which is pretty broad, and it's the same credit that you would have gotten with the previous Sapphire Reserve before the refresh. You get $500 on stays with edit, and this is broken down twice a year, $250 January through June, and another $250 July to December. And it gives you other statuses like hotel status with ISG, global entry, and stuff like that. But that's kind of basic to me when it comes to luxury cards, because a lot of luxury cards give you global entry and other benefits anyway. So I don't really consider that a huge benefit, you know? You also get $250 in Apple TV Plus and Apple Music subscriptions. You get $120 Door Pass membership. So that includes $0 delivery fees and reduced service fees. You get $300 in DoorDash promos, which is broken up to $25 each month. And within that $25, $5 can be used to spend on restaurants, and $10 need to be used on groceries, retail orders, and more. You get $300 in StubHub credits, which is also broken down to $150 January through June and another $150 July to December. You get $120 in Lyft credits, which is broken down to $10 monthly, and then Lyft rides, you get 5x on its multipliers, and you get $120 in Peloton credits, which is also broken down $10 monthly, and you get 10x on eligible Peloton equipment and accessory purchases. And those purchases must be over $150. That is actually a lot of benefits that you get with this card. But, and a big but, is that Chase makes it very difficult to use all these benefits or credits. Sure, they're $300, pretty basic, straightforward, it's really easy to use, but a lot of the other credits, you have to be using them monthly, Lyft credits, monthly, DoorDash, monthly, Peloton, monthly. And if you don't have these monthly expenses, these credits are kind of worthless. And the biggest negative for me is actually the hotel credit, because up front when you first read it, oh, $500, that's a lot of credit that they're giving you, but it's broken down to $250. And the thing is, a lot of the hotels on the edit, majority of them are over $250 a night, and you have to stay 2 nights or more to get that $250 credit. So let's say that you pick a hotel and it's $1,000 a night, and you have to stay 2 nights, so it's going to be like $2,000, but you're only getting $250 off of that $2,000 hotel. So for me, it's like you're spending money to save money, which doesn't make sense at all. And of course, like if you already use the Edit, you already use the Chase platform to like book your hotels, then sure, like this is a great perk for you because you already use it. But for someone that values loyalty, I would much rather book through like Marriott or Hyatt or like IHG, like through their actual website, and get like elite night credits that way and get points, right? Because you're paying cash and you want to make sure that if you're paying cash, you get those points. So for me, the hotel credit is kind of like really worthless. If I really wanted to use it, I'm sure I could find a hotel somewhere, you know, in the world. Like, of course I can find something. But it's just, you have to kind of go out of your way to use these credits. And so it's not really something that like I can recommend to people. Of course, if you're like bonus hunting and you want to get 125,000 Chase points, like that's great, you know, spend the minimum spend that you need to spend, get those points and transfer out to airlines or hotels or whatever. I mean, I think that's a great idea. And then just make sure you wait a year before you downgrade it, right? That's great. But I don't know if this card is a keep a card and a card that you would use all the time, year after year. That's kind of debatable for me. Now, if you do use the credit, all the credits that Chase gives you, it's gonna add up to $1,510. And if you deduct the annual fee, so $795 from that, you're still netting, like winning essentially, $715. And that's only if you can use all the credits, like all of it, then you're winning. But if you're not, I don't know if most people can get $715 worth just from this card. Now moving on to the Citi Strata Elite card. This card has an annual fee of $595, so it's a little bit cheaper than the Reserve card. This card gives you 12x on hotels, car rentals, and attractions booked on cititravel.com. It gives you 6x on air travel booked on cititravel.com. It also gives you 6x at restaurants on Citi nights, but they have to be between Friday and Saturday, 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Otherwise, you get 3x on all other restaurant purchases, and you get 1.5x on all other purchases. This card also gives you a bunch of other benefits, such as $300 annual hotel credit, which you have to stay 2 nights or more, and you have to book through cititravel.com. You get $200 on statement credits for your annual splurge credit that you can use on First Dibs, American Airlines, Best Buy, Future Personal Training, and Live Nation. And apparently the splurge credit can be used on American Airlines tickets, which is great because that's like essentially like using it as cash. You also get $200 annual Black Lane credit, which is broken down to $100 January through June, and then another $100 July to December. You get 4 Admirals Club passes with this card, and then you get TSA and Priority Pass and other benefits as well. So if you add up all the credits that Citi gives you, it's gonna be $1,016. And if you deduct the annual fee, which is $595, you're gonna be netting or like winning $421. And once again, this only applies if you're able to use all the credits. But comparing these Citi credits to Chase credits, I personally feel that I can use up all of the Citi credits, like literally all of them. Like the hotel credit, for instance, yes, I know it's 2 nights, but you can use the credits all at once. And if you find a hotel that's around like $500 range, I wanna say, per night, it's easier to swallow the amount that you have to pay if you're getting $300, in my opinion. And this is my opinion, of course, you know, you might be like still like, no, Yaji, like, no, I'm not spending that much money to stay at a hotel, and that's totally fine. But I just think it's easier, like I said, to use $300 all at once versus using the Chase credits where it's like broken down twice a year and you only get $250, you know? The splurge credit is like cash, essentially. You can buy anything pretty much from Best Buy, or if you go to like live entertainment, or you go to like live games that you want to watch, you can pretty much purchase that at Live Nation. Also, because you can purchase tickets on American Airlines with this $200 credit, I think it's super easy to use for most people. Same goes with $200 Black Lane credit. When I first reviewed this card, I was hesitant about Black Lane because I've never used the program before, but since then I've done a little bit of research, and actually Black Lane prices are not unreasonable. Like, they're actually not bad at all. A lot of times we take an Uber or a Lyft from the airport to like a hotel that we need to go to just because we have bags, we have a toddler, we sometimes take this stroller with us, and then we have a car seat on top of that. And so we just don't want to have to deal with like public transportation wherever we are in the world. So we as a family, we like to take Uber, taxi, Lyft, whatever normally. So I compare the prices between like Uber and Black Lane, and Black Lane in certain cities might be a little bit more expensive, but it's actually like not bad at all. And if you're used to that kind of method of transport anyways, might as well use the Black Lane service and get like a little bit of a premium experience, because the car is better, they give you water, and when you get out of the airport, you know, they're waiting right out there for you to like lead you to the car. It's not like you have to find your way, where Uber and Lyft, you know, are located in the airport sometimes in a foreign country, and you're like, where am I going? I don't know where I'm going, you know? So it's a little bit easier. So Black Lane has become something that I would use frequently if I had the city card, that is. With American Airlines, their day passes right now are $79. That's crazy expensive. In some locations, Admiral Club is like not even that great. Like the food is like meh, to the point where sometimes like I prefer just eating at a restaurant at an airport versus going into the lounge to eat the lounge food. The only benefit of being in the lounge, I think, is just like less people, you know, sometimes a little bit quieter maybe, but the food isn't always that great depending on the location. That being said, if you're getting these credits for free with a credit card, then I think it's not too bad, because let's say you have a bigger family that you're traveling with the Citi executive card, they only allow 2 extra people to come in with you if you're the primary card holder, right? But let's say you have another person, like a third or fourth person, well, you can kind of use the Strata Elite card to use along your Citi executive card, you know? And $79 for passes, that's $316. So if you think about it that way, it's actually a lot of benefits that you're getting with the Citi card. Like I said, if you do value Admiral's Club, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, depending on the location. And that's why you're netting $421 if you're able to use all the credits. I think ultimately it depends on multiple factors, but I want to talk about like 3 factors that you need to think about when you pick up these cards. First is, of course, you need to think about the multipliers and the benefits that you're getting from the card. Are you getting all the benefits from each card? Are you spending more money on airfare? Are you spending more money on restaurants? You got to figure out your lifestyle and see where the multipliers belong. Because on the Chase side, they only give you 4x on flights. Whereas on the Citi side, they give you 6x, which is actually a lot of points for airlines. But on the Citi side, you have to book through Citi Travel. And on the Chase side, you can book directly with the airline. And for someone that books directly with the airline, I have to think, okay, what is my opportunity cost? How many points am I going to miss out if I go the Chase route instead of the Citi? Or like, are you someone that compares prices, and if Citi ends up having a cheaper price on the Citi Travel, then you're totally okay buying from Citi. Then Citi Elite is a better fit for you because it gives you 6x. With hotels, Chase only gives you 8x, whereas Citi gives you 12x, which is a lot of a difference if you think about it. In terms of dining, they're both the same, except of course, if you're able to find restaurants on Citi nights, if you're dining out like Friday night, for instance. The second thing you need to think about is your card portfolio. So do you have other Chase cards that complement the Sapphire Reserve? Or do you have other Citi cards that complement the Citi Strata Elite? For my husband and I, we both have Citi and Chase cards. Like we each have Citi cards and Chase cards, and we kind of use them in their little like trifectas essentially. But I've noticed we don't really use Chase that much other than the Freedom Flex. And we use the Freedom Flex because of the rotating 5X category that every quarter you get, and I do max that out, and hence why we have like 2 cards each pretty much. But other than that, if you think about the Freedom Unlimited, it's only 1.5X on everything. And Citi has a Citi Double Cash, which is 2X. So in my mind, I'm like, why am I spending 1.5X when I can get 2X on the other side? You know, of course, it depends on how much spend you put on these cards. If it's not that much, you know, then 1.5x, honestly, like it won't make that much a difference. But the more you spend, the more differences in points you're going to realize between 1.5x and 2x. The majority of our spend tends to be on the Citi Double Cash because you get more points that way. I also have the Citi Custom Cash, and that's like my ride or die grocery card, and I max it out each month. And having that 5x on groceries is like a huge thing for me. Whereas on the Chase side, you don't really have like a grocery category that gives you a high multiplier. So multipliers are important too, but it's also important to think about other cards that you have in your portfolio within each bank. And the third point I wanted to touch upon is transfer partners. And this is an important thing I think most people kind of forget about when they open up these cards, because you see like the headline of the welcome bonus and you're like, ooh, all these benefits I can get and all these multipliers I can get. Well, you can't transfer out those points to different airlines or hotels if your favorite hotel or airline is not partnered with that bank. So both Citi and Chase have like similar partners that they have, such as like Virgin Atlantic or Emirates or Singapore Airways or like KLM or Air France. They both have these like international airlines that they're partnered with. So if you like use any of these airlines, and it doesn't matter which way you go because you can still transfer them out. But the unique thing about Chase is that they're only partnered with Hyatt. So if you're a big like Hyatt lover and you love Hyatt hotels, Chase is your only option. So you're kind of stuck with the Chase system. So it might be better off for you to just get the Sapphire Reserve. Same goes with Air Canada. Comparing like Citi and Chase, Air Canada is only partnered with the Chase and not Citi. And if you use Air Canada's platform a lot for booking Star Alliance flights, well, then you kind of have to go the Chase route. Citi, on the other hand, is partnered with American Airlines, and you can only transfer points to American Airlines with Citi. So if you're an American Airlines frequent flyer like we are, then Citi is a better fit for you because you can transfer points out that way. Same goes with Turkish Airlines. Chase is not partnered with Turkish Airlines, and I value Turkish Airlines. So for my family and I, Citi is a better fit for us just because of the transfer partners that it gives us. But let's say you're a big Hyatt fan, but you're also a fan of American Airlines and Turkish Airlines. Well, then you could technically get like really nitty gritty and book Turkish Airlines on Air Canada's website. Sometimes you can book Turkish Airlines if there's award availability. So you don't really need the bank to be a transfer partner of Turkish, because you can book those flights on Air Canada, and Chase is partnered with Air Canada, so it might be more beneficial for you to just go the route of Chase. Same goes with American Airlines. You do frequent American Airlines. Well, Chase is also partnered with British Airways, and you can book American Airlines on the British Airways website if you book through like Avios and like find award availability. And of course, not all flights are going to be available on these platforms. You're going to have better luck finding more times of when you can fly out, for instance, on the American Airlines website versus British Airways. But the fact that you have these options of booking American Airlines on the British Airways website is like, you know, crazy. Same thing with like Turkish and Air Canada. So you don't necessarily need the Citi card. You can just go the Chase route if you really value Hyatt. But as someone that still values Citi because of the different multipliers and the ease of transferring to these airlines directly, I am Team Citi. Because once again, I just feel like Citi has easier methods of using these credits, and also they have better like portfolio of cards around them to support the Citi Strata Elite. You may disagree with me and you might still be like, ooh, Team Chase all the way, and that's totally fine. But I am curious though, why are you Team Chase? Like, other than Hyatt, why are you Team Chase? Because in my opinion, there's other ways to transfer points out and get the same award flights, and you get better multipliers with other Citi cards versus Chase cards. So if you're Team Chase, why is that? I want to know. But anyway, I hope today's video was helpful and informative to you guys. Once again, that's my goal, to always like bring value in having credit cards and having all these transfer partners so everyone can go out there and travel. And if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing below. And I'll see you guys next time with a different video. Bye!